I thought all of our videos would have been loaded by now. I just got a message from Kelly saying, hey Anthony, part 2 of your opening statement, opening video yesterday didn't load. I went in and looked. It's gone. It's gone. So I was a little miffed. I got up this morning. I told you guys yesterday, so this is Monday. I told you guys yesterday that I had went to the clinic yesterday, and they gave me the runaround and said, oh, you know, the whole thing is that I had an appointment yesterday at 2 o'clock to get tested, COVID-19 test. Now, I have no symptoms, but as I said, I want to make sure that I do the right thing. So I went to get tested. Pull up to the window, lady said, oh, we don't have a technician here. Okay. So I make an appointment for 3 o'clock at another clinic. Go to the other clinic, they say, oh, sir, you're only allowed to have one appointment per day. I said, but ma'am, did they not cancel the appointment? Why are they taking appointments when they don't have a technician? I'm sorry, it's in the system, I can't. So I'm sure they could have, but nevertheless, they couldn't do anything. So whatever. Get up this morning, make an appointment at CVS, 10 a.m. Get to the CVS. Well, sir, you have 2 open cases. They didn't cancel them at the other places. I said, what? So I tell him the story. He goes, it sounds ridiculous. He said, well, I'm really sorry, but I can't do anything. So I'm getting a little angry, a little upset. I leave. I called Tim. I said, where in Pennsylvania can I get tested for COVID? Where? Do I got to call an ambulance? What do I got to do here? He says, no, you can go to the wellness clinic or something. So after the races in Pennsylvania, I will be tested for COVID-19. You know the result, but I will be tested. Now, it's odd, very odd, because the tests are coming back. No one else in the barn who's worked around Jason is positive for COVID-19. Now, I have a theory as to why. I think they already had it. I think that Jason got it from Kirby, who got it from Lauren. Sydney never had it at all, apparently. These people work in close contact every day. How can they not have it? I don't know how it works. I guess nobody really knows how it works, but Sydney definitely doesn't have it. Lauren and Kirby have no symptoms. I assume they don't have it. They get their tests. Well, actually, Lauren knows she's negative. She's getting a hard copy so she can drive. And Kirby, he'll have his test back this afternoon. Obviously, if those two tested negative and Kirby with no symptoms, he's going to be negative also. So it's very odd. But Jason's over the hump now, felt much better this morning. Get some food into him. He figures he'll go get tested again Tuesday or Wednesday, and I assume, if possible, it will come back negative. So the ordeal is over in that regard, but it's just a little bit of a pain in the butt for me. I'm trying to get tested. For me here, obviously with everybody else testing negative. My only concern was I didn't come in contact with Jason, but I did drive globetrotting in Dayton, and I did come in contact with Kirby and Lauren. But obviously, if they're negative, there's 0% chance that I'm positive, at least from that side of it. So I'm sorry about the video. I don't know what happened. Maybe my phone is COVID. I don't know, but it lost the video. I took it, I recorded it, and it's gone. So let's try and pick up where I left off yesterday, which was talking about the babies and how impressed I was with how professional they were, how well they were broke. We didn't get to talk about a little bit of the drama that went on Saturday night. We're not talking about the COVID or the shortness of caretakers or anything like that. So many of you know I'm a lovely lady was scratched because she had an abscess in her foot, left hind foot. So I trained her on Tuesday. She trained fine. Wednesday she was reshod, and that abscess is in a place where the nail hole would be. So they put the shoe back on her. Thursday morning she was sore again. So I get there Friday, talk to the vet. We poultice her foot up. Saturday morning, she's still uncomfortable on it. Take the shoe off. Clean it out again. There's still some abscess and there's still some infection in there. There's still some infection in there. I can't possibly do a video without the phone ringing. There's still some infection in there, and it's bleeding, and now she's lame. Saturday at 2 o'clock, I'm a Lovely Lady was lame. I was worried she wasn't going to be able to race. I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I said to the vet, what are our options? We can put a bar shoe on that. He said, will she trot with aluminums on behind? I said, this filly would trot with rubber boots on behind. He said, okay, this is what we'll do. I'm going to glue the shoes on her so there's no nails. I'm going to build up the foot so that the space right here on the outside of the foot, on the inside of the foot was sore. There is an abscess below out the bottom of the foot where the nail, right around the nail hole, right here. So regardless of what happened, at any point, it's there. He said, I'm going to glue the shoe on, no nails. He said, I'm going to build it up at this point and at this point so there's zero pressure on that area. He said, trust me, she'll be sounder. She walked down to the blacksmith area lane. She come back as close to 100% as you can imagine she could possibly be after this. I was so shocked. The way she warmed up, the way she raced was incredible. Filly has an abscess, was dog lame at 3 p.m. I go out of there thinking, if we luck out, somebody's going to make a break in the middle, cause a little calamity. Anthony drops in the 4-hole. I can't take back to last on the half-mile track. This is a stake race. This isn't a maiden. So I float out of the gate. The worst has happened. No one runs. No one. Not only does no one run, now there's another horse parked. Now I'm parked second over behind a horse that's okay. And we're out every step. Getting into the last turn, I feed her through the inside. She's getting tired. They're smoking. Feed her through the inside, fish her out, charging at the wire. I pull up, I'm going under the wire, and as I'm going under the wire, I'm thinking to myself, this is the toughest little filly. Like, she's out all 4 turns. 56-2 flashes up. I know I just tried a 57-1, 57-2. She's been out all 4 turns and couldn't walk at 3 p.m. That's how tough I'm a Lovely Lady is. Mama Knows Best raced great. This is another filly. When they start bleeding at the end of the year, it takes a toll physically and mentally on the horses. I don't know how she's going to be. Her qualifier, because she was in with fast aged horses, pacers, you don't really get a real chip. 40 lengths she's beaten. I mean, the line doesn't look great. Matt Kakali comes over to me. I know Matt real well, and he says, what's the scoop? I said, I know you're... I can't believe I'm about to say this, but she's better than her line show. Remember I told you, it's what trainers always say to drivers when the program doesn't look good. She's better than her line show. And rarely they are. But she's better than her line show. I said, just try and get us paid. And he pulled up and he said, man, oh man, she raced great. She made a break warming up. I pulled her hobbles in, but we put an extra set of bell boots on her to help stabilize her. She's a very quirky filly. This is a filly that won her first lifetime start in 58 with no hobbles. She shouldn't need them on tight. He let them out a little bit. He tinkered with her, and she raced great. He drove her great. He pulled up and he said, man, this is a really nice filly. Really nice filly. He said, hey, thanks. And I said, no, thank you. I appreciate you driving her for us. Thanks very much. So Matt Kakali drove her great. Drove her very, very good. Which way am I going here? Toledo, Youngstown, or Akron? Pretty sure I go that way, right? Yeah. So Matt Kakali drove her good, did a great job. I really appreciate the drive he gave her, and it was a great night for those 2 fillies. GW Chrome, this is a horse. Don't forget, this guy hurt himself in the stall in the middle of the summer. I didn't know how he'd come back. Another guy whose lines weren't great. Now, the flicker of optimism came when we saw that high liver count on him also, especially since we saw that liver count on Globetrotting. She raced poorly in Pennsylvania her last start for Dave Pallone, and then come out like a bear cat, come out swinging in Dayton, even after losing a shoe, and was just overpowered the field. So I was very optimistic from what I saw from Globetrotting. I was worried I was going the wrong way. From what I saw from Globetrotting in Dayton, and my mind's like, GW Chrome at a high liver count. Now we know we've treated it. It's down. He could go a big mile. What's he got left in the tank for 2020? Is he sharp enough? He warmed up great. If I get him out anywhere, he's second easy. I just couldn't come first over with the poor bugger. So I went easy with him. I didn't go easy with him, but I didn't want to come first over. Charging up the inside last start of the year, I almost wanted to race him once more. I come off the track, I'm like, I can win a maiden with this horse at the Meadows if we could get him in. I know I could, but the Meadows maidens are protected for Pennsylvania breds first and foremost. So the only way an Ohio horse will get in the maiden is if they needed an entry. That's the easy way to put it. So really, really impressed with GW Chrome. I brought him back to the barn. The lady had bathed him off, and I said, geez, he's a pretty horse, and he's standing on the crossed eyes. He just looks like a peacock, right? He's all cocky and got his shoulders all puffed out, and he just looked like he wanted to go again. I said, you know what? That's how I want you to come back in 2021, so we'll put you out. It sucks financially when you're thinking at the wire, was I second at 17,500, 18,750, and was I third? Looked at the TV, I was fourth. But just a great mile for GW Chrome. Very, very impressed with him. And it goes without saying, we all owe a lot to the people that stepped up and helped us on Saturday night. As I said in an earlier video, no one from the Jason McGinnis barn was allowed on the property of Northfield, just to be safe on Saturday. So I hadn't been around Jason. I was allowed on the track. And the people that ride sometimes for us in the morning, just jog the horses, they came in and, owe a great debt to Sonny and Daryl for sure for helping out. So GW Chrome was good, and then Compass Rose DC. This filly, she spent her life being a little cranky, and you never really knew if she put out 100%. She put out 100% the other night. She tried her ass off. And I was so impressed. She got around the first turn, put a couple of steps in, but got around the first turn. I got a little breather. I thought she was going to win at the half. And then even around the last turn, right before she ran, I said, gee, she's coming back. I'm going to be second, maybe third. She just put a step in. If you watch close, she put 2 or 3 steps in. She's trying to catch herself. She's trying to get back on gate. And just couldn't. And I lost her. But tried very, very hard. Put 110% into her race the other night. And I couldn't be more impressed with Compass Rose DC. She'll head, I was said to Tim, we're going to enter her in the Meadows. We'll see if she goes to the Meadows. If we're going to have a problem with Spend That Money, Path of Totality, Yale Sun, we're going to have problems getting them in, I might send Compass Rose DC down to Ohio. I don't know, down to the Dayton area. I don't know who we can send her to. I know a lot of people down there, so it won't be hard to find a trainer for Compass Rose DC, and there seems to be a lot of classes down there for her. Geez, she felt to me like she probably could have done in the classic Globetrotting was in the way she was racing the other day at Northfield. Very impressed with her. Oso Pines coming off just a crushing victory at Northfield, 55 flat. He won easy. He can go to Pennsylvania. I also had a phone call from Jim King. I had fished his name to Jim and said, geez, can this horse do down there? He said, yeah, I think he can. I said, we're definitely going to race him in Pennsylvania at the Meadows on Monday. I believe we will now. See how he is. Delaware is very protective. You have to enter. You have to give them the name of the horse that you want to race at their place. And if they say, yeah, you can come, then you can come. And if you don't, you can't. And that's pretty much how Delaware is. So Jim said we can submit that name in a week or so, right before Dover opens, and they'll decide if they're going to take him or not. But he said they'll take him. So, and then obviously, Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. Also, big race from Don't Believe Me, Just Watch this week. And I don't want to keep harping on this, but, that's what happens when you put horses in where they can win. If you can win, you get a guy like Kevin who prepares them very well, has them on their toes, has them, strong, trained up tight, and then get a good drive. Paul McKenzie gave the horse a great drive. If you can do all that, then you'll win the race, right? If you get a good drive, a good horse, and a good class, you're going to have favorable results. And that's what we were trying to do. And I know a lot of people are maybe put off that I stuffed him in that claimer. But as I said to Kevin, just put him in where he can win. I don't want to dream about if he comes out the track at 12-1 and he finds a favorable trip and, maybe the favorites aren't good that night. I don't want that. That always ends bad. More times than not, just do the math. You go on the track 12 or 15-1, how many times are you going to win? It's just simple math. Not a lot. And I think put them on the track at even money is a much better result more times than not than that. Now, are they going to claim them? They could. I just don't see it. You know, 22.5 right before Christmas, horse with 3 wins. I don't see that happening, but I could be wrong. So Kevin had called me. I believe a couple of you maybe reached out to Kevin and said, "Is there a way we can race? You know, don't believe me, just watch in the non-winners of 3 again. Do you think that win would make him better?" And Kevin called me and he said, "Oh, we'll try him in the non-winners of 3." I said, "Hold on." I said, "Oh, are you saying this because you've had clients email you and call you, and you want to keep everybody happy, or are you saying this because you believe he can do?" I said, "Before you answer that question, I'm going to make it very simple for you. You put him in where he can win. You know better than I do whether he can win the non-winners of 3, and I'm not going to go and look. I'm not going to run the numbers. I'm not even going to guess. If you think he can win the non-winners of 3, then by all means put him in the non-winners of 3. Otherwise, you put him in where he can win. We'll worry about everything else after that." I think that's the only fair thing to do. So I know there's a lot of clients out there saying, "I don't want to lose him." You don't want to watch him decline chasing horses he can't beat. That I can guarantee you. There are some of you out there that know this story, where we raced horses where they were 10-1. You know, picking up checks, picking up money here and there, maybe winning the odd race, and eventually it caught up to them. They declined. Now they can't beat that condition claimer. Now they're an 8 claimer. And we don't want to see, don't believe me, just watch, get into that position. It's been a long year for him. We all know this is a tough colt, a nice colt. Let's do him a favor, put him in where he can win. Somebody wants, don't believe me, just watch for 22.5 plus HST, and then factor in hopefully the win check. You're looking at $26,000 for a little small he's watching colt that really came out of left field for us and did us some good. But at the same time, let's continue to let him do us some good and do him some good also. So I left it with Kevin. I don't know where he's going to enter him, but wherever he does, I'll stand behind it 100%. Now, we did buy some horses on the weekend. The win-back sale, I liked 5, maybe 6 horses in the win-back sale. Mario and I talked extensively. We knew what horses we wanted, both by value and money and by stature, which was our top pick. We got our top pick. I was really happy. I was impressed with what took place. Our top pick in the whole sale was Renegade Gypsy, number 21. He was 0 for 3 in the front dam, very strong in the second and third, but I saw this horse. Saw them pull him out the floor. Mario and I both laid our hands on him. This was a horse that I thought was the best looking horse, dollar for dollar, especially at $18,000, dollar for dollar in the win-back sale. There were other horses I liked. I didn't say he was the best horse, but he should have brought $100,000. No, I just thought dollar for dollar, this Archangel colt was our best option. This was our horse, and I was happy to get him. I would love to get him for 15, but 18, perfectly okay with that. Mario did a good job there. Very happy to see Renegade Gypsy joining our barn. For the 2021 season. He's there now. They're working on him. They say he looks great. Nice horse. So I'm very happy with Renegade Gypsy. Now the day before, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. I love the Hoofbid site. I think it's a great site. Jeff and Adriano did a great job with it. Needs to grow and get a little more traffic, and it will. But the problem we have is, when you look at, I told you guys about how I bought the horses, how the bidding took place, how there was such a time crunch with the airplane. But I bought Better Be Sawyer at $15,000, and I thought she was probably a $28,000 or $30,000 filly. My estimation on the filly. I talked to the breeder, I talked to the owner, I looked at all the pictures of the horse. Beautiful filly, well bred. 4 for 5 for winners on the front 5, but 5 for 5, 100% producer. The 2-year-old colt last year was second in 52 last quarter and 25 and 4, first lifetime start, I believe. This is the yearling sister by Better Than Cheddar, out of a sister to Dream Fairy Eternal. You're not buying that horse for 15,000 Canadian. It ain't happening. But it did. I knew who we were bidding against. I felt bad for Jesse. I think the horse is worth way more. Jesse, the breeder, stayed in for a little bit of the filly. I don't blame him. That filly should sell out quick. Put it this way. If you think for a second that that filly would have went through the ring at Lexington, and I was going to not pay 13,000 US, because that's what it was, 15 Canadian, 12 or 13,000 US. If you think that I wasn't going to pay that for her, I mean, that's just insane. Amy called me today, told me what kind of a beautiful filly she is. Mario said, I really like the Better Than Cheddar. It's impossible not to. And they didn't even put it to 15. They're just talking about the horse herself. At $15,000, you can't go wrong, at least right now. Nobody knows till next July what it's going to do, but at $15,000, she was worth way more. So, the colt, as I said at the start of the end of the last video, this was the first foal out of a sister to Steelhead Hanover. Steelhead Hanover was the number one sire, I believe, in the Maritimes. Through that, he was the sire of that unbeaten colt, one of the best colts in Canada this year, Woodmere Steelhead. A very prolific family, and they were out of a sister to Down by the Seaside. You can't find a better pedigree than this horse also. 15-1, and I bought him by virtually, as you wind it all back, by accident. I bid 15-1. I would have went to probably 18 or 19 on the colt, likely. But this is when this whole COVID thing dropped with Jason. I was shocked. I just completely threw my entire day, aside from the drive of the Glare AM, threw my entire day into disarray. I couldn't focus. I bid the 15-1 and I forgot about him. We were just fortunate to get him for $15,100. Why? Could have been a number of reasons. At the end of the day, another horse that we bought well, and the frustrating part is people are calling me saying, I want to buy into something a little better. You're judging something a little better. If I had paid $40,000 for Better Be Sawyer and told you, look at the pedigree on this filly, this is a killer, would you be more interested then? But because I paid $15 for her, somebody thinks that there's something wrong with her. It's kind of what we do, right? I do my homework. We look hard. I've seen over 1,000 yearlings so far this year. I've seen over 1,000 yearlings so far this year, and I try my hardest to find value where I can. I think we did, and there's absolutely no arguing the value that was found on the hook bid site on Friday or Saturday at the win-back sale, for that matter, in my mind. You can make an argument with me if you want, but I'd love you to. I'd love you to try and explain to me why they weren't worth a lot more than that. It's just not possible. So that is what took place this weekend. I'm on my way right now. Got up this morning. It was raining, so I'm thinking, come on, man. You're just going to pile on. Our caretakers were allowed back on the property. I just got the last message as I was doing this. Everybody's negative. Everyone's negative. I haven't got my test even taken yet, but I will. I already know the answer to that. I'll get that taken. And I'm going to pull pins for me Wednesday or Thursday and head back to Ontario. Get these babies started up. By all counts, right now there's 41, I think, in the barn. You might not know of all of them yet, but there's 41 in the barn. We're getting up to exactly where I thought we'd be. I doubt we'll get to 50 this year. Certainly won't get to 60. But looking at a couple of horses today in the London sale. But until then, we're at 41, I believe, right now. So that is the opening. I apologize. It was disjointed in two parts, and I lost the second part. I'm a little sharper today. Saturday took a lot out of me. That was a lot of manual labor. A lot of manual labor went into Saturday. It's not something... I don't mind the driving, and I don't mind the long hours, but that actual labor... As my father used to say, he thinks manual labor is a Mexican. I don't mind the heavy lifting and putting in the hours, but hooking up horses, stripping, training, bathing, putting away. I was going to say doing stalls, but I didn't do any stalls. Just all that, it adds up. And then, pound a big Red Bull into you. You're good to go for a few hours. You're on fumes. Race our horses in Ohio. It worked out really well, and then just crash, and then get up the next day at 9:30. 9:30, and then go to the barn, try and get all this stuff done. I think we have everything under control. 11 horses are leaving over the next 48 hours to go back to Ontario. We'll have some going to PA, some are going to the field, and then that's it. That's it for Ohio. we will be non-existent in the state of Ohio within the next 48 hours. So thank you very much to the state of Ohio. A wonderful, fantastic year again this year. Couldn't be happier. PA with Tim has been a pleasant surprise. Aside from the crappy weather today, we've had a perfect run in Pennsylvania, and hopefully we can keep that going up into 2020, 2021 also. So we got a lot done already. I got the 3 Indiana breds. Those of you out there, there's one horse, one of those Indiana breds has shares left. We'll get that taken care of this week. Our New York bred, we have one. We could get one more in Harrisburg maybe if you want, but we have one New York bred done, sold out. Maybe two. New Jersey, we didn't really have a quota for New Jersey, but we have 3 all done. Ontario, we're up over 10 now, maybe 11. Ohio, I'm only at 14 or 15. I could take a couple more on, I suppose, but I want the ones sold out that we have right now. So I'm going to be working with our Ohio clients and saying, listen, the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence, and if you send me to Timonium with 4 or 5 horses with lots of shares left, I'm not buying any. I'm not buying any more Ohio breds. So the ones we have, it isn't, I'll take that bruised apple. We worked, I worked my butt off to make sure we found these horses at an affordable price. And you can say what you want about Ohio. I've always said it. You can get anything for anything in Ohio. I'm a Lovely Lady was incredible on Saturday night. She was 4th. Made $40,000 this year. We gave $14,500 for her. Mama Knows Best was a little bit better on Saturday night. Finished 3rd. $4,000 for her. And the big winner all year in Ohio was My Jazz. $117,000. She was a $6,000 yearling. So before you say, well, I don't know, you can get anything for anything in Ohio. We bought a big basket full of really nice horses, and I would like to form groups to get them sold out. So if you're out there listening to this, take a look. Take a close look of what we got in Ohio. That new horse is very interesting. I can't wait to get a real good look at him, Prairie Fire. Don't forget about Slim Jimmy and the horses we got in the first sale. I'll be reaching out to you. If you live in Ohio and you're a client of ours, you'll be hearing from me this week. So I will talk to you all very, very soon. Aside from the weather, it smiles around. Everybody's negative. Jason's getting over the virus. We had a great finish to the year. Had a great overall year in Ohio. I hope you guys had a great weekend, because aside from everything that went on, big picture, I did too. Take care.